Rejection cause or harassment. When somebody harass you or they reject you, how can you or broken? Jealousy is another way of making the anger. There are some people that are so jealous, not come to church because their friends want to dress in a better clothes than them. You can't change it. And then lastly, hate thieves or talk about and when you are in dream, there's nothing I mean you can and Fela Fela Kuti said you have relationship problem. You have communication problems similar to the first one. Loneliness, when you have nobody with you, then that will become something else. You know, loneliness keeps people very, very quickly. So where I come from, husband and wife, they live very long. Over there, people live very long there. So as soon as one dies, in most cases, the other one will go because of loneliness. Not because he's sick or anything, but loneliness will become an health issue. Problem is also not solved. So this is the third one we are going to focus on, and then right. If you are the sort of person that bury things, every little thing you put it inside you. Some people in the church here, it's everywhere, I'm not talking about the church, can remember the first time one of the pastors offended him 20 years ago. I still remember. That is burying. You bury it. When you bury something, it's always there. So if you look at the second one again, can't concentrate at work. When you see that sort of person, cannot concentrate at work. Because you keep remembering everything that you're supposed to have forgotten about. Feel down and lonely. You may hurt others when you explode. That is the worst part of anger. They are all bad, but the worst one is burying, when you bury things. People can still remember in their secondary school days what their friends they are sitting next to that didn't let them to use giraffe method to look at marks. They still remember up to today. That is burying. So that sort of person will pile things up, and one day they will explode. That's why you see mad people around. A lot of mad people around. And when your brain goes as far as being into explosion, when you have such explosion, it doesn't go back to normal. As you know, in Nigeria, when somebody is gone mad, they've gone mad. Only God can intervene. Brain, if you go look into medical way before, or you look even at ram, when they kill a ram, look at the brain, it's like custard. And if you look very closely, there are blood veins, very tiny blood veins. Once one of them explodes, the person is gone. They are very tiny, tinier than a thread that you use to sew clothes. So once you get it exploded, you are gone. That is it. So we have to be careful not to explode. And again, problem is not solved. Out of the three we've looked at, none of them have solved problems. None of them. Bearing is ignoring but stronger anger. The more anger towards the past you carry in your heart, the less capable you are of loving in the present. That is Barbara the Angelis. So, uncontrolled angers. If you are not able to control your anger as a Christian, you are a Christian, you are not able to control it. This is what will happen. It can trigger other behaviors. It can trigger negative consequences. Many people have lost their job because of anger. Not only the people that we know, some famous people as well, they've lost their jobs because of anger. I was watching the news even as early as yesterday. Some people where I come from, they've lost their job because of their anger situation. If you have been listening to the news, you realize the husband of the Queen died recently. Going to be buried this afternoon. He's a man full of anger. They will not mention it now. Even when they're taking pictures of him, he gets very angry in public. And he goes to a stage, they now tell him, Baba, whenever we are going anywhere, don't talk. They shut him up. So we've not heard from him for many years. We see him, but we don't hear from him. They've already trained him that anywhere we are going out, Baba, please stay here. Follow us, but don't come. Don't do any talk. So anger can cause many, many things. It can hurt physical health, as we said earlier on. You can always control the situation you are in or how the health will feel, but you can control how you express your anger. So we're going to move on quickly because I want the second part to start very soon. So when do you know anger becomes a problem? When it harms you, it's a problem. You are working in a place, they ask you to excuse them. then we got problem. When it harms you, when it leads to aggression, when you are so angry, then you trying to hit somebody, then anger is hurting you. There was this lecturer. He just finished his training, and he was working with the government before, and decided to become a lecturer. And I was supposed to be supervising him. And he came one day. He said after about a month, and he left his ID card in front of my desk. Say, I'm off. Why? You spent 3 years being trained as a lecturer. Now you want to leave. Say, you know what happened? I realized one boy did something to me, and I raised my hand like that. If I've landed it, my life will have finished today. This job is not for me. And he walked out. 3 years lost. And he walked out. So that's when anger becomes a problem. I'm sure before that 3 years, he went to other courses before he became a lecturer. He walked out. When it harmed people around you, then you've got a problem. You need solution. When it disrupts school or relationships, then you got problem. When it's too frequent, when you are always angry, you got problem. When it harms or affects overall quality of your life, when you're becoming sick every day and you know you're an angry person, then you need to change. When it's chronic, when it's every time and it's explosive, you got a problem. So uncontrolled anger can cause so many antisocial problems. So these are the consequences of acting out. You are the sort of person that can act out. It can lead to legal problems. You go and act out and hit somebody outside, they will arrest you. And the police officer here, they don't take any rubbish. They arrest you, you pay them to release you, they will pay them. And if you didn't pay them on time, they break all your bones. You can see from anger to broken bones. It can lead to problems at school, community, church, anywhere. It can also lead to substance abuse. It can lead to substance abuse. Substance abuse, and when you start smoking Indian or cocaine and all that, that's substance abuse. Even when you are drinking too much Coca-Cola and all that, you get hooked onto it. There's something else I want to mention because I've seen it around. I've not seen it around whenever I come before. It's an energy drink. I don't know if you know it. Red Bull. It's something you should never touch with your mouth. If you have it in your house, when you get home, put it in the gutter or put it in the bin. It goes straight to your heart. It's full of caffeine. It's not something meant for a normal person to drink. They are normally the same size. They are normally the same. The bottle is always the same shape. Yeah, Red Bull shape. So it's not something you should drink. It's not good for anything in your body. It's good to destroy your body, that's all. Physical problem, emotional problems, and low esteem. How does anger make you feel physically? Right. These are anger cues. These are the things that will tell you, I'm now angry. These are the things that will tell you that you can know yourself that, oh, anger has come. Because some people doesn't know. Your body sends you a signal when you are getting angry. There's always a signal. Your body will tell you that you are going to get angry. Some people will start shaking when they're angry. Some people will speak slowly, very fast, or not able to speak. So body is sending signal that anger is about to start. That is when, as a Christian, you need to start looking for solutions. Go and sit somewhere. Find your way up. Some people count 1, 2, 3. When they know it's coming, they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they will come down. So you need to find a way of coming down. So racing and pouncing heartbeats. Some people with their heart will be going boom, boom, boom when they are angry. So once you know that as a Christian, find solution to it. You should know that anger is coming. Yeah. Even some people, when they see a police officer, their anger will start because they remember 10 years ago what the police officer did to them. They remember the one he did last week. So you have to be careful. Another one is sweat. When some people are very angry, when I was very small, I had one teacher, and when he's very angry, he knows we start having a sweat. That's when we go and sit down quickly. I think it's Fadipe or something like that. They will go and sit down. And this man is we are in trouble today. So sweat. Thick stocking, as I said earlier on, is very common in the market. You ask them how much is this? Can I is 20 naira? Can I pay 15? And it's anger have started already. So move away. Anger have started already. Loud voice. Some people will make loud noise when they are hungry. So if it's you that is making such noise and you realize you are angry, find solution to it. Don't let it go to explosion. Red face. Here we don't have red face. Over there we have red face. When the white person is angry, you see all their skin will go red. Their skin, this skin will change to red. Then you know they are angry. So at least there's a signal there. You can go back. But a black man doesn't go red. I think only their eyes goes red. The skin doesn't change. So red nose. And eyes as well. Some people, their eyes will go very red. So you know there's problem. Upset stomach, as I said earlier on. When some people are angry, their stomach will start rumbling. So when you know your stomach is start rumbling and you are afraid of so thing, or something is causing you to be angry, go and find solution to it. So those are the anger cues. So warning signs. It's not for everybody. So when you're angry, you cannot focus. Some people will start insulting people when they're angry. I've seen people that insult even their own mother when they're angry. The mama will have video procedure. That's when they're angry. Things that you should never do in your life, they do it. Heavy breathing. They become argumentative. They argue over nothing when they're angry. Some people walk around when they're angry. Just walk around like that. Go to the bus stops when the conductors are fighting. You see them walking around, that's pacing. Yeah. And some people go down and shut down when they're angry. When some people, those ones are the dangerous ones. When they are very angry, they just say nothing. You come near them and you will know they are angry. Some people will shut down completely. Some will show physically that they are angry. They start throwing things. So definitely when you see them throwing things, you run. They make an angry face. They become aggressive. And they use outbursts, swearing. Some people get angry to the extent that they cry. No matter how old they are, they still cry when they're angry. They cannot stop thinking about the problems when that happens. Because of time, I'm going to cut short some of them because of our time. Can you put it on slide 42 for me, 42 for me, please? We are there. Media, can you please on slide 42? So I will round up with this because of our time, but everything on the PowerPoint will be sent to you once you put it on your form. There's an issue that we have at the moment that we end up with. There's an issue that we have, and that issue is social media. That issue is social media. We've seen so many politicians and those who are not politicians as well that suffer this a lot. When people are angry and you put it on social media doesn't get deleted. I can't remember the one that you put something on and it lasted for a day and then disappeared. Was Snapchat. Snapchat will disappear for a day, but if the government needs to get hold of it, they will get hold of it. If you put your naked pictures on the internet and you think all is well, nobody will know it. I've deleted it. Nothing is ever deleted on the internet. You got to be careful as a Christian. Nothing is ever deleted on the internet. So we are going to look at this briefly and we shall end it up. So social media, how to remain in your job and stay out of news or jail. Do you know what you write on the social media can be used against you and you can end up in prison? Easily, anywhere in the world, there's a law that covers it. internationally. So we're going to talk about anger on the social media. Because when you see people now, even they are driving, we went yesterday, and people are driving, they are driving like that, and they are still looking at their phone. Everybody is hooked to their phone. That's the toy of the people. So if you look on there, before you post anything online, there's something we call space and think. So I will explain to you what they are in a minute. Speaking your mind and posting your mind is not the same thing. Don't go on the internet and say, our president is a bastard. Don't do that on the internet. Don't do that on the internet, because I think it's wrong to say that. If you can't say that about your pastor, why say it about the president? It's something that you must not say, must not be put on there. You might say you are speaking your mind. You can speak your mind as much as you want, as we are speaking, but don't post it online because it's written. And it's never deleted. You can delete it, but it's still there. I can show you if you have the facility here, I can show you the Nigerian government website 10 years ago. There's a way we can find out what was posted 10 years ago. So be very, very careful. It's there. So that is what steps. So when you're going to type something and put something online, even to a church member, even to your own children, even at work, these are the things you must do. You must put in mind, you must practice from now on. From now on. You have to stop. That's what they call space. Type it, but don't post it if you're angry. I'm going to send the message to Pastor Moses in a minute, and you shall know that what he did yesterday is not on. You can type it, but don't post it. Don't post it yet. Yeah? And the second one is you have to pause. This is the P. Pause there. Wait for at least an hour. Preferably sleep over it. That means the following day. Don't post it. Wait on the following day and assess. Think about what you have typed. Go and look back at it again. If you wait for the following day before you post to Pastor Moses, you realize you have something to change. Yeah, you call him a name that you shouldn't have called him. I shouldn't have called him like that. Let me change it. Yeah, so you got to be very, very careful. And confirm, check with someone else what they think. If it's something I think that can be damages to that person, confirm. Go to pastor and say, I'm going to write this. I'm so angry. What do you think? Speak to your own wife or your sister or somebody else. Don't just post it. Then, if you think everything is okay, that you will not get into trouble, then send it. If you practice this, you will not get into trouble. The main key to it is wait. Don't post anything like that. If you're angry, I've seen somebody that wrote something bad about the church and post it to them and post it on the online. He's still in prison, and the church took offense. And they reported to the police and they took over. And they checked the fact that their light is wrong. And he got himself into trouble. So can we move to the next one? Right. Ask yourself this question if you see anything online. There's a lot of bad information going around on the internet. People posting in anger, and 9 out of 10 things on the internet is wrong. I saw one before I came, was somebody jumping from upstairs. All the children are jumping from upstairs, jumping downstairs. They said it's because somebody went to give them COVID vaccine. By that time, the president of Nigeria hasn't got COVID vaccine. How come COVID vaccine have ended up in a secondary school somewhere? It was a lie. So ask yourself before you post anything, is this true? Check it to make sure it's true. Is it hurtful? Is it going to hurt this person I'm going to send it about? Somebody post something, they post it somewhere else, and then say, oh, it's from the church we saw they come and see what they are doing in so church. They are killing ram. That was wondering the COVID. They said a particular hospital, there are so many dead people there. The government are hiding things from us. And somebody who work in the hospital then film around and say, we are here, live online. This particular picture is not inside this building. So be careful. It's illegal as well, what you are doing. If you say anything bad about anybody, they have the right to sue you. Even Nigeria as it is, they can sue you. And what you are sending, is it necessary? Is it really necessary what you are doing? Data is very expensive here and anywhere in the world. Why are you wasting your data? Is it necessary to do it? All this is because of anger. The last thing, is it kind as a Christian? Is it kind? I saw one pastor there. Even though that pastor is married, though, he's talking to a lady in the corner in the dark somewhere. Is it true? Can it be hurtful to that family? The next one, is it legal to be doing things like that? The last one, is it necessary? You saw a pastor talking to somebody. Is that your own problem? Don't you have your own things to do? And lastly, is it kind? Are you trying to spoil the person or make the person better? Or are you trying to spoil the church? So other people will hear that and problem will start. So we've got to be very, very careful. On social media, these are the things that can happen to you. Out of anger, that's how you can get yourself into trouble. You can be sued, libel, or slander, saying things that are not right. Misappropriation, invasion of property, privacy, and copyright. Do you realize even in daily nourishment, if you go and publish it somewhere as your own, do you know you're in trouble? If the person have money, instead of suing in Nigeria, they sue in America and they get a lot of money. So be careful. Social media is not something you can mess about. Right. I want you to fill the second part because of our time. I want to fill the second part of the form. And if anybody have any question regarding what we covered so far, let me know. And the second part of the form, I want you to write your email there so that I can send the full things. At the back, I will email it to every one of you so that you can have it. And if you don't want it to be on email, if you don't have an email for one reason or the other, if you have WhatsApp and you put your WhatsApp number on it, we will collate it together and then send it to you. So any question regarding anger management? Any question from anybody? Let me give you just 1 or 2 minutes to fill up the form, then we can start the second part because of our time. Any question from anyone? Can I have a copy of the form, please? Just one copy of the form. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to say a very big thank you, sir, for the privilege to attend this seminar. And thank you for the knowledge that you imparted on us today. The Lord will reward you for good in the name of Jesus. Now, my question is this: when you were talking about burying anger, you said some people can remember the event of 10 years, 20 years. Are we saying, or are you saying that if you remember event of 10 years is a bad thing if it doesn't affect you?
Thank you, sir. It's not about remembering. I could remember my brother came in last week, I think. I could remember somebody that bought me food when I was 6 years old. You can still remember. But when somebody have done you wrong, you can still remember that, but don't put it in mind. Don't keep it there. Don't keep counting. Make sure you don't keep counting that. For example, some people in the church, let's say, for example, this church, can count how many times people have wronged them. That's the sort of thing I'm talking about. Don't keep counting. Don't keep adding it up. Okay, I will wait again. Maybe next week, pastor is going to look me at the face like that again because he's done it 3 times already. That is adding up. That's adding up. Just ignore. Just ignore it. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't keep adding it up together. It's like you're putting money somewhere and you're adding it up. It's going to be 1,000 today, 2,000 tomorrow. But you can remember, we cannot erase what's in our mind. So how you manage it is the real thing. Somebody must have offended you before that you went back and checked that person's hand. That means you've erased it in your mind what is done. But it's still there. You can forgive, or you can't forget. But it's the forgive part of it and how you manage the forgiveness that matters. If a dog bites you in a house one day, are you going to walk through that place again? You didn't forget, but you remember the owner that treated your leg or your wound. So definitely you will not add it to it, to your problem. So any questions, sir? Any other question?
I just want to find out the thin line between anger and hatred. Hatred.
Let's go.
As a Christian, you can do me wrong and I can forget. That's what we are talking about today. But we are talking about other religion, you cannot escape. You cannot escape it. Even some people in other religion, you will offend them. You will not even know, and they will take action. But as a Christian, they will even have two minds that maybe you didn't know. The Father forgive them, but they do not know what they are doing. So definitely, some people might not know what they are doing. But in our own way, what we are trying to do today is for Christians. As a Christian, if you go out there, people should know that this is a Christian. Look at what I did to this man. And he didn't even say anything. Look at what I did to this man. He just called me and said, can't you see me step on my foot? Other people try it in the bus garage. That food, they will use it to kick you. So what we are trying to say as a Christian, there must be difference. The people must see you. As I said, my pastor said that it can not be different Christian. It can only be a Christian. There's only one type of Christian. There's no good Christian, no bad Christian. But there are so many Christians around these days that are not really Christian. There are so many pastors that are not pastors. There are so many ushers that are not ushers. There are some churches, they put something under their pulpits to pray for something, to pray for even those who are taking drugs abroad. Can you call that a church? So that is different. That's different that we have. Thank you, sir. Anybody else before I pass? Yes, ma'am.
I really want to appreciate you, sir, for this
Yes,
session.
ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, under dealing with anger,
Yes, sir.
you
Yes,
mentioned something. You said, try to put your feelings into words.
yes.
I want you to really shed more light on that. But because in the process of pulling your feelings into words, you may trigger something.
Yes.
So I want you to talk more on that.
It's a lot of practice to do that. Only in Yoruba, where I come from, say pẹ̀lẹ́, have positive and negative. Pẹ̀lẹ́ only obi àti akọ. Only different one. So if you step on somebody, and that person say, "Can't you see you step on my dog? Okay, pẹ̀lẹ́, I'll get you also that." It's different. That's putting it into words. But you must plan to use the word properly. Sometimes the word might not come right now. You wait. If I'm angry with my wife or my wife is angry with me, I'm not going to explain to her what has happened. I will wait and then put it into word. Sometimes she will then say, I didn't know that's how it is, how things are. You don't do that word straight away. It's not something you do straight away. So it's something you work on and work on and work on, then you perfect it. If somebody is angry with me, I'm not going to go straight away to that person and say, "Hi, sir. Let's assume this is my neighbor. Your tree fell on my house. So, and I want you to do it right now. I want bricklayer to come and do my work right now." That person will beat me up if he's stronger than me. But if you wait, maybe he's gone to work all day. He's stressed already. And you want to put something into what we did, he's not going to take it. But maybe tomorrow morning when he wakes up, sir, you can see what has happened to my wall. Can you please find solution to it? Because I don't like to be people to be seeing my compound. Even if it's a mad person, you come down. Even before you go there, if you wait a while, as I said, when you are posting things online, if you wait a while, that person can come back to you before you go there. And they say, "Oh, I'm very sorry, sir. This is what I noticed when I came from work, but I was very tired. I went to bed straight away. That's why I came this morning to explain." And that is done. So putting things into work takes years of practice. If you ask those who have just got married, they won't tell you they fight all the time. They fight all the time. So as time goes on, the fight becomes, it disappears. If it be once a while, it's not fight of really fight. It's a fight of love. It's a fight of spend hours cooking this food. And look at you are watching football. Come eat this food quickly. Don't waste my energy. That is a different fight. But the fight of the beginning is that one of them will take the eba and put it on top of the husband. That's a different fight. So it comes into practice and practice and practice. My wife is here. We fight, but it's not the fight of physical fight. It's not because of saying your mother, your father. No. Why don't you tell me this? Why did I have to find this somewhere else? Why did you put my stuff? There are things like that. I like it to be here. Why did you put it over there? Those are the sort of things we fight about. And that is normal. If we don't talk about things like that, we'll just be sitting down next to each other doing nothing. There'll be nothing to do. So as you can, if I ask our daddy in front here and our pastor, they will say the same thing. The beginning is always very rough until when we learn. You know something I noticed in where we come from? They don't teach us about marriages before we get married. We learn by ourselves. We learn by ourselves. When I got married, I didn't know when the wife comes, it's from a different mother, from the same father. The way she's going to cook rice is going to be different to mine. But if the way you want to cook your own rice is the way you enjoy, teach your wife. But nobody taught me that. So we have to learn bit by bit, bit by bit by bit. One day, maybe next time, or if you have any topic we can plan for, marriage seminars, something like that, we can talk about this. Because none of our children have never been sat down and say, when you marry, this is what you do. I've never been taught. We learn in a very hard way. So that's another thing we could talk about in future. Thank you very much. Let's allow the next person to come on. Oops. um, my wife is going to come on now, and she's going to talk about diabetes awareness. I think that's the next thing we are doing. Diabetes awareness. And we have a lot of literature here about diabetes. The food that you can eat, you talk about it. We are not going to talk deeply into medical part of diabetes, but how you can have awareness of diabetes. Somebody can be as thin as me and have diabetes, and they can be half of my size. Even babies have diabetes. Most pregnant women, they have diabetes, but it will go as time goes on. So how we can manage it is what she's going to talk about. Thank you very much. Thank you. Encourage him better, please. Encourage him.
Thank you so much, sir, for the privilege. So we want to have like 5 minutes break before we go for the second session. So please, 5 minutes break. Thank you. Okay. Doctor said you can take the literature and go through it.